An aged man named Franklin is sitting on a small creaky chair in a dimly lit room. He is sweating unusually and is greatly scared because he is using a device called an EVP box. The purpose of the EVP box is to help a person communicate with spirits. So this makes us wonder, whose spirit is he trying to communicate with? Suddenly, he picks up some photographs, and the moment he sees them, tears begin to run down his face as he looks at the faces of his 3 children. Franklin had 2 daughters and 1 son. His children have passed away, and their passing has affected him and his wife heavily. Their innocent smiles haunt his memories, and grief weighs heavily on his heart. Franklin calms himself by taking pills and continues trying to communicate with their spirits. In desperation, he cries out if someone out there. Suddenly, he gets a response from a mysterious voice that comes from the EVP box, saying that she is here. This shocking yet horrifying reply sends a chill through his nerves, and fear grips him. He presses the rusty button on the EVP box to turn it off, but unfortunately, it's too late. The device starts making a lot of mysterious sounds, and the player doesn't turn off. Franklin tries to run, but due to an overdose of pills, he is unable to stand. However, all of a sudden, everything goes silent in this eerie room, and then he hears the voice of a crying child coming from the box. However, Franklin thinks that the voice is of his son, so he tries to communicate back. Sadly, the voice stops for a moment. Franklin realizes that he is in danger too late. A supernatural spirit appears behind him and bites him on the neck. It also possesses him. Franklin screams, but his wife, Janet, doesn't hear him, and the spirit takes full control of him. His desire to speak to his children one last time consumes him. Franklin tries hard to regain consciousness and control over himself. His voice changes, deepening to an unsettling growl as the ghost takes control of him. That vengeful spirit is extremely strong, and it makes him fall off the stairs. He lands hard on his head and loses his life on the spot. The house is filled with nothing but silence. The ghostly presence makes the atmosphere more horrifying, leaving behind only the chilling memory of a man who wanted to speak to his children, but found himself ensnared by a dark entity. In a flashback, Janet Morlow, wife of Franklin, begins her narration, sharing the haunting tale of her family's tragic fate. She says that when she and her family moved to this house, they were having a splendid time and were living happily. But all of that ended with bad fortune. Her children started to feel the presence of a spirit that later preyed on them. It went inside the children's minds, and they started to suffer from severe mental problems. One by one, all the children fell. First, her son perished in a car accident that shocked the family. Second, their daughter, who was a professional swimmer, which added more pain and made their lives a living hell. Her second daughter committed. The parents were traumatized as the lives of all of their children were claimed by an unknown, ruthless force. They somehow tried to ease their pain, but the satanic spirit didn't leave them at peace. It continued to torture by eliminating Franklin, leaving Janet alone. All of this has made her life hard, since she lives alone, and sometimes she wishes that not being is better. Janet shifts to another house for the sake of her mental health, but the neighborhood is quick to tell her that her house is cursed because of the tragedies that took place. A few years later, the Asher family moves into the old Morlow house. Unaware of the dark history that has shrouded the home in sorrow and death, they begin their new life there and are happy in a big house. They have no idea of the awful terror that awaits them. In terms of members, the family is the same as the Morlow family. The family consists of Emily and Alan Asher and their 3 children, Evan, Sarah, and Anita Asher. Moreover, a real estate agent reveals the dark reality of the house. But the Asher family has modern beliefs, meaning they don't believe in the paranormal existence like spirits. They ignore the disturbing facts and starts living in the house. When Emily informs her son about the room in which he will be living, Evan rushes towards that room in excitement. He feels splendid when he sees his big room, and his sister, Sarah, follows him too. Sarah takes a quick check of the room, and while doing that, she opens the cupboard in which she finds a chilling painting of a woman's spirit. The painting creeps her out and she runs away. She doesn't tell Evan about it, and Evan, out of curiosity, follows her to ask what happened. When they reach the lounge, and just as Evan is about to ask her, they see an old woman standing outside their house. They inform their mother about it, and Emily goes out to ask the old woman what she wants. The woman is Janet Morlow, and she says she used to live in the house before. She is there to take the painting of her son, which is in Evan's cupboard. Evan takes Janet to the room, and Sarah tells him that she ran out because the painting freaked her out. As days pass by, Evan finds himself disturbed by sleepless nights. One night, he hears the cries of a young girl, which catches his attention. His curiosity rises as he wants to know why a girl is crying loudly in the middle of the night. Unable to find rest, he decides to take a late-night walk. It's during this solitary stroll that he encounters Samantha Richards. Samantha is in tears, her sobs echoing through the night. She's distraught because of her abusive alcoholic father, who beats her when he is drunk. Evan feels sad for her and invites her to his house, which calms her a little bit. But Sam, scared of her father's beating, refuses to go to his house but thanks him for the offer. Their brief encounter ends with a simple farewell, but fate has other plans. On the same night, Samantha can't resist the comfort of Evan's bed, seeking refuge from her heart-wrenching home life. Evan, at first, is shocked that a girl is in his bed, and he asks her how she got in, not to mention how she knows which room is his. She reveals that she has been to this house before and knows all the shortcuts inside. Evan feels at ease a little bit following her response. The next day, he introduces her to his family, who are also shocked seeing a girl with Evan. Still, Emily trusts him and she lets them be friends. One day, Evan is in his lounge watching television, when suddenly, the light turns off, so Evan heads to the basement to power up the generator. While he tries to turn the generator on, a spirit passes behind him but he is unable to see it. Still, he feels that something moved behind him. When he turns the lights on, it flickers. Evan then sees a vision of a baby is crying and being handled by a young lady. This scares him into going upstairs. As he goes up, the power comes back, and he eases up a bit. As days turn into weeks, Evan and his family begin experiencing strange paranormal occurrences within the walls of their new home. The strange unfolding events cast a shadow of fear and uncertainty over the Asher family. It's at this point that Evan decides to seek Samantha's help to figure out the dark past of the house. Evan experiences a dream that Janet is treating a patient and she is telling a young lady how to take care of a baby. After having this vision, Evan is assured that there is something paranormal in this house and he asks Sam to help him. Together, they decide to embark on a journey to unravel the mysteries of the Morlow house and to uncover the chilling secrets that lie within its walls. As they delve deeper into the unknown, they realize that the malevolent force responsible for the tragedy that befell the Morlow family still lingers, and it won't rest until it has exacted its revenge on those who dare to call the house their home. Moreover, as Evan and Sam spend more time together, their friendship deepens, eventually blossoming into something more profound. While navigating the eerie mysteries within the house, their bond strengthens day by day. The next day, Evan goes out for a smoke and Sam joins him. While talking, a little girl's satanic spirit with glittering eyes passes behind them but they don't see it. Sam suggests that they should explore the house's hidden corners. They stumble upon the same EVP box that had played a sinister role in Dr. Morlow's tragic story. With fear in their hearts, they decide to give it a try, not expecting anything extraordinary to happen. To their astonishment, the EVP box springs to life and Sam decides to use it. She asks if someone is present other than them, and her expressions indicate she is hoping for a reply. Evan thinks that all of this is useless and decides to leave, but he suddenly hears a sound coming from the box. He asks Sam if she was the one who made the sound and she denies it. This scares Evan and he leaves the room with great haste, but Sam stops him, insisting that he should come with her so she can show him something more frightening. Sam shows Evan some photographs of the Morlow family and tells him about their past. All the revelations one by one surprises Evan. Moreover, Sam grabs his hand and takes him to the back of his house, where they see the grave of Franklin. This gives Evan goosebumps and he immediately retreats to his bed to calm himself. They both go to bed and Sam tries to comfort Evan. She tells him about her traumatizing past. We find out that her mother passed away while giving birth to her, which made her father mentally ill. That's why he beats her when he is drunk, and this is also one of the reasons she hates her mother. Evan's heart is overwhelmed with sadness when he hears this, so he grabs Sam and moves her closer to him, comforting her while they both go to sleep. The next day, while going towards Sarah's room to take clothes for Sam, Evan passes by his youngest sister's room. He hears his sister talking to someone, which is unusual since she has no friends in this neighborhood. Evan rushes into her room and asks her who she is talking to. His sister gives a vague reply and Evan leaves. But the moment he does, the spirit of a young girl appears inside the room. His little sister is now possessed by the evil entity. Evan goes to Sarah to get some clothes for Sam. There, Sarah tells him that she has also been experiencing some paranormal activity. She also mentions that some friends from the neighborhood told her that their house is haunted, and any family that lives there will be cursed. Listening to these words makes Evan more afraid. He advises Sarah that she shouldn't tell their parents, given that they've gone through a lot of difficulties to find this house. Meanwhile, Sam is showering when she notices the water in her tub is turning black. When she looks up, she sees the satanic entity in front of her, causing her to scream. Sarah and Evan rush to the bathroom and see Sam crying in the corner. When she sees Evan, she talks about the entity taking her name. Unfortunately, upon reporting what happened, the parents deny believing in any form of paranormal activity. They think that it's all just bad dreams and stories. There is nothing to worry about. Sam and Evan tell her about how they turned on the EVP box and got a response. Sarah responds by warning them not turn it on again or try to contact any spirit. However, their younger sister believes that they should make the spirit their friend as she has already made it hers. Then she starts to color the eyes of her family members on a family photo. Everyone thinks that she isn't serious, given that she's just a kid. It's nighttime. Evan and Sam are once again discussing the paranormal activity Sam experienced. While discussing, she requests for him to turn on the EVP box. This annoys Evan because he isn't in favor of turning it on. Sam insists, saying she wants to know how the spirit knows her name. She remembers when she was showering and the ghost said her name. Evan once again warns her that turning on EVP can cause great danger, but he still does it anyway. They both go into the basement and try to communicate with the spirits. Sam starts to ask multiple questions and suddenly, a 3-word response comes from the box which is, "She is coming." This causes both of them to get goosebumps. Sam nervously asks who it is that's coming. Sam is anticipating the spirit she saw earlier. The radiations start to spike up and a reply comes from the box, simply stating, "She is here." The door locks from behind, making Sam and Evan realize they are in danger, so they both run for their lives. When Sam exits the house, she notices that Evan isn't with her. She worries that Evan might be in danger, so she goes back into the house to save him. What she sees terrifies her. Evan is trying to strangle out of the window. When Sam sees this, she jumps on Evan and closes the window to save his life. This action triggers the spirit which has possessed Evan, and it uses his body to attack Sam. Evan tries to strangle her, but she sees a lamp nearby and slams it on his face. When he faints, Sam runs back to her home, regretting her decision to turn on the EVP box. The next day, Evan rings Sam's bell and asks her what happened with him last night. At first, Sam is a bit hesitant because she still thinks that he is possessed. But after spending a few more minutes with him, she opens up and tells him the whole story. Sam apologizes too, which Evan accepts. He suggests they should contact Dr. Janet Morlow, who is the only one who can answer their queries about this malevolent spirit. Driven by fear and confusion, Evan and Sam turn to Dr. Morlow, a woman who seems to possess knowledge of the hauntings that plague them. With trembling hearts and a sense of desperation, they approach her for guidance and welcomes them to her home. Dr. Morlow recognizes the intensity of their situation and suggests a destructive solution. She suggests that they should burn the box, as well as all the photos of the people who lived in the house in the past. She thinks this may be the only solution to end the curse. Evan and Sam agree. The moment they return, they both decide to burn the EVP box, hoping that destroying the object, responsible for the paranormal occurrences, will bring an end to the terror. They gather the belongings of the previous owners as well, hoping to sever the connection with the past. They ignite the fire, watching as the flames consume the box and the possessions. Unfortunately, their hopes are shattered when the haunting persists, undeterred by the act of cleansing. Ignorant of the reality, Evan and Sam breathe sighs of relief, expecting the curse to be over and hoping they both can live peacefully. They are both enjoying a romantic time together when Evan's father calls, informing him that the family will arrive late, so he should take good care of himself. After the call ends, they both go to sleep. While sleeping, Evan gets a disturbing vision featuring a woman who has just given birth. Janet Morlow slays that woman, and she, together with her husband, Franklin, bury the woman underneath the room where they are currently sleeping. Evan wakes up breathing heavily and changes his side of sleeping and pulls Sam closer. Suddenly, he feels something is behind him and he tells Sam about it. They both turn their heads to the other side and see the glittering eyes of the satanic spirit. They both try to run, but the door is locked. Evan tries hard to open the door. Sam, on the other hand, experiences a frightening psychic vision that unveils the truth about the malicious ghost haunting them. This ghost holds a deep and vengeful anger, a hidden secret from the house's past that Sam could never have imagined. The vision is like a scary movie, taking Sam back in time. She sees Frank Morlow, a man who isn't very strong-willed. He is caught in a love affair with a woman who lives nearby. This woman happens to be a patient of his wife. She becomes pregnant with a daughter, who turns out to be Samantha herself, which means that Sam's mother and Franklin were in a relationship, while the man was married to Janet Morlow. When Sam was born, Janet jealously murdered Sam's mother in front of Franklin and buried her. Sam's mother turned into a satanic spirit and eliminated all the members of the Morlow family except Janet. Suddenly, the ghost possesses Sam. She picks up a hammer and hits Evan on the head while he's trying to open a door. Evan feels his life being snuffed out by the girl he loves. Sam tries to open the wooden plank beneath where her mother's body is buried. This is when the Asher family arrives and is traumatized to see Evan lifeless. His father knocks Sam down and calls the police, who arrive to take Sam away. The Asher family starts to cry at the loss of their beloved family member. A few days pass, and the Asher family sits in the car driving away, now moving to someplace else. The moment they leave, Evan's spirit is seen on the window, indicating that he'll always be by his family's side as a spirit.